All right, thank you guys. Welcome to our college basketball video here today for Friday, March 12th. Once again, happy Friday to you. The weekend is finally here. And if you're new here to this channel, I just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to the channel. My name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you end up really enjoying this video here today, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by smashing the like button. I'd greatly appreciate it. With that, guys, we got some great games. Actually, we've had some awesome games already completed here today. But man, we got ourselves a really good slate here tonight. So let's go ahead and dive into it. We're going to start with Oklahoma State versus Baylor. 6:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Kansas City. The Baylor Bears are the 9-point favorite at the neutral site. Total's 147.5. If you like the Cowboys of Oklahoma State in a big-time upset here, they're plus 320 on the money line. Now, we improved to 5-0 in our last 5 extra daily picks on my Patreon website yesterday. And access to the extra daily pick is just $2.99. We also improved to 16-1 in our last 17 extra daily picks in that very same tier membership. And if you want to join the 1,250 members who are currently signed up and active on that Patreon page, link for that site is in the description section below. Once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, Oklahoma State's been playing some really good basketball down the stretch here. Back-to-back victories against West Virginia, 10-3 straight up in their last 13. The Cowboys have also won 9 of 13 away from their home court this season. And they successfully covered the number in 77% of those contests. Now, Cade Cunningham scoring over 19.5 points per contest, along with 6 rebounds and 3 assists. Meanwhile, Avery Anderson III is averaging over double digits a game himself, along with 4 rebounds and a couple assists as well. In addition to covering their last 7 straight contests, the Cowboys are 9-5 straight up as the official underdog this season, and they also rank in the top 30 in defensive field goal percentage away from home. Now, they're taking on a Baylor squad who failed to cover the number in 2 out of their last 3. And one of those contests was actually against Oklahoma State. Now, the Bears also failed to cover the number in 5 out of their last 8, with one of those failures coming as it was a 13-point outright loss to the Kansas Jayhawks. Now, total-wise, Baylor saw their last 4 straight get over the number, 10-1 to the over in their last 11. Meanwhile, Oklahoma State on the other side saw 5 out of their last 6 get over the total themselves. 17-9 to the over for the entire season as well. I'm going to lean toward the Oklahoma State Cowboys plus 9 in the over 147.5. Next ball game. It's going to be in the Big Ten, but it's not this one here. We're going to get into the 9 o'clock slate. I'm talking about Wisconsin versus Iowa. This should be a good one. I'm talking about 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That one's going to tip off. The Iowa Hawkeyes are minus 4.5 with the total at 143. Now, this one's being played at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. The Iowa Hawkeyes are on a 3-game winning streak, 7-1 straight up in their last 8. Now, the Hawkeyes are in the top 3 in the nation in scoring. They're also in the top 10 in offensive rebounding. Iowa's averaging over 85 points per contest, and they're also making 40% of their three-pointers for the year. Luka Garza is scoring over 23.5 points a game, along with 8 rebounds. The 6'11 center is also drilling 43% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, Joe Wieskamp is scoring 15 a night himself, along with 6 rebounds and a staggering 49% three-point percentage. Now, Wieskamp, he's a little bit banged up here with an ankle injury, but in my opinion here, that shouldn't affect him much shooting the 3 ball. Now, the Hawkeyes are taking on a Wisconsin program who lost 3 out of their last 4 ball games, just 3-6 straight up in their last 9. They're scoring just 66 points a game away from their home court this season, and they're making just 29% of their three-pointers in that same category. Now, total-wise, when it comes to the scoring in this one, Wisconsin's last 4 straight all got over the number. Iowa's 2-0 to the over in their past couple of games themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Iowa Hawkeyes minus 4.5 and the over 143. All right, next ball game, another good one. I'm talking about North Carolina versus Florida State, 8:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off. The Florida State Seminoles are minus 3 with the total at 151 flat. And If you like the Tar Heels of UNC in an upset victory here today, they're plus $1.25 for some money line cash. Now the Tar Heels are on a 3-game winning streak, 5-1 straight up in their 6 neutral site contests. The Heels are in the top 3 in the country in offensive rebounding, and they give up just 69 points per contest. Armando Bacot is scoring over a dozen a game for the Tar Heels, along with 8 rebounds. Meanwhile, Caleb Love and Garrison Brooks are each, both averaging double digits for UNC as well. The Heels are holding their opponents to just 41% shooting from the field. UNC is also averaging nearly 77 points per contest. They're taking on a Florida squad who went just 3-4 straight up away from their home court this season. In addition to failing to cover in 5 out of those 7 very contests, the Noles have also really struggled with UNC in recent meetings, going just 2-8 against the spread in their last 10. Now the Noles give up over 70 points per contest. And they've also lost 2 out of their last 3 ball games. One of those losses to this very North Carolina squad. Now total-wise, Florida State saw contests with UNC, Georgia Tech, and Miami State under the posted total recently. Meanwhile, the Tar Heels went 4-2 to the under in their neutral site ball games, 6-4 to the under as the official road team. I'm going to lean toward the underdog UNC Tar Heels +3 and the under 151. Next matchup, another good one. Guys, I'm telling you, we got ourselves a great slate here tonight. A lot of great basketball. This next one, Big East. I'm talking about UConn versus Creighton, 9 o'clock East. Now, the Creighton Blue Jays are the 1-point favorite. Numbers 143.5. Very evenly matched game here. Creighton's averaging over 79 points per contest, and they are making nearly 50% of their field goals. Now, the Blue Jays have also won 8 of 12 away from their home court this season, and they actually took care of UConn twice already this year, with one of those victories coming by nearly double digits. Marcus Zagorowski scoring 15.5 points a game for the Blue Jays, 3 rebounds, 4 assists for the standout guard. Zagorowski's also making 41% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, Denzel Mahoney's dropping over 13 a night himself, along with 4 boards. Creighton's won 7 out of their last 10 contests, and they went 5-2 against the spread in their last 7. Now they're taking on a Husky program who lost 4 of 5 when catching plus money this season. The Huskies also averaged just 66 points per contest away from home, and they shot just 40% from the field in that same category. Now, total-wise, UConn saw 3 out of their last 5 stay under the line, throwing out the DePaul game. UConn's also 7-4 to the under in their last 11 away from their home court. Meanwhile, Creighton, on the other side of things, they saw 3 out of their last 5 stay under the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Creighton Blue Jays -1 and the under 143.5. And with that, guys, I believe we are going to dive into our Texas-Kansas canceled. I'm unaware of that. Anyway, next contest, it is going to be Ole Miss versus LSU, 9:30 p.m. Eastern start time, not on our big screen behind me. But anyway, the LSU Tigers are -1.5, totals 143. Now, LSU blasted the Rebels back on January 9th by the final of 75-61. The Tigers are in the top 10 in the nation in scoring, and they average 83 points per contest. Cameron Thomas is scoring a staggering 23 points a game, along with 3 rebounds. Meanwhile, 6'9" sophomore Trendon Watford's averaging 16 a game himself, along with 7 rebounds and 3 assists. The Tigers are also holding their opponents to just 30% shooting from 3-land. They're taking on an Ole Miss program who scores just 67 points a game away from home themselves, and they make only 24% of their three-pointers when they travel. Now, total-wise, when it comes to the number in this one, 5 out of Ole Miss's last 9 got over the number. LSU's 8-3 to the over away from their home court themselves. I'm going to lean toward the LSU Tigers -1.5 and the over 143. All right, next matchup. Looks like it says canceled on our app, but I'm not aware of that, and I was able to place a bet on it. But anyway, Texas versus Kansas, 9:30 Eastern tip-off. The Texas Longhorns are now the 1-point favorite. Total's 135.5. The Texas Longhorns are on a 4-game winning streak, 7-2 straight up in their last 9. They also went an impressive 10-2 straight up in their games away from their home court. They were actually undefeated in 4 neutral site contests during that stretch. The Longhorns were in the top 20 in defending the 3-ball away from home, and they give up just 66 points per contest when they travel. Andrew Jones is scoring nearly 15 points per contest, along with 4 rebounds and a couple assists. Meanwhile, Courtney Ramey scoring 13 a game himself, along with 3 rebounds and 4 assists as well. Ramey's also making 44% of his three-pointers. Now, the Longhorns are holding their opponents to just 40% shooting from the field when they travel. They're taking on a Kansas program who's going to work here today without their second leading scorer in David McCormack. He's averaging over 13 points a night for the Jayhawks, out, I believe, on COVID protocol. Kansas, they played just .500 basketball away from their home court this season, and they covered the number in just 50% of those ball games. Kansas also fell to Texas back on February 23rd, giving up 75 points in that affair. Now, total-wise, Kansas saw 9 out of 14 games away from home get over the line. Texas saw 5 out of their last 9 get over the total themselves. The Longhorns are also 15-10 to the over for the entire season. I'm going to lean toward the Texas Longhorns -1 and the over 135.5. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup of the show. It's another one that is actually not on our big screen behind me, but definitely a game of interest. Should be a good one. I'm talking about Colorado versus USC. 11:30 Eastern start time in that one. The Colorado Buffaloes are -1.5. Total's 134 flat. Now, the Buffs swept USC this season in 2 meetings. Both victories came by double digits. Colorado's in the top 25 defensively in points allowed, top 30 in defensive rebounding away from home. The Buffs are also victorious in 10 out of 16 games away from their home court. McKinley Wright IV is scoring over 15 points a game along with 4 rebounds and 5 assists. Meanwhile, Jariah Horn is scoring nearly a dozen a game himself along with 6 rebounds. Now, the 6'7 senior is also drilling 91% of his free throws and nearly 45% of his three-pointers. Colorado allows just 62 points per contest. They're taking on a USC squad who went just 6-8 against the number in their 14 contests away from home themselves. Just 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 at any location. And for a team with as much offensive prowess as USC, believe it or not, they're actually shooting just 34% from beyond the arc. Now, total-wise, USC saw 5 out of their last 9 get over the number. Colorado saw 2 out of their last 4 neutral site contests get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Colorado Buffaloes -1.5 and the over 134. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap, once again powered to you by my Patreon website, where we are 5-0 in our last 5 extra daily picks on that Patreon page. We're also 16-1 in our last 17 extra daily picks in that very same tier membership. I like Oklahoma State +9 over 147.5. I like the Iowa Hawkeyes -4.5 over 143. Give me North Carolina +3 under 151. I also like Creighton -1 under 143.5. Give me LSU -1.5 over 143. Texas -1 over 135 and a hook. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the show, please feel free to go ahead and give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button. I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm going to lean toward the Colorado Buffaloes -1.5 and the over 134. And with that, guys, one final reminder, all the content on my channel here is for entertainment purposes only. I don't make any guarantees of any kind. And with that, guys, that is going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.